Morning to everyone. I'm happy to start our last live business breakfast morning, last one this year. Short break until the beginning of January. So today we have a very topic, the one which I think essential to talk about, especially at the end of the year. We will talk about the burnout. For me personally, this is a very, very sensitive topic, honestly, because I have gone through the burnout, I think, at least twice in my life. The first one that was really hard, and I couldn't acknowledge that was it, or something else. The second one, it was a little bit easier because clue of what is going on. However, people are not really knowing what is happening to them, and they tend to explain what is happening in their life with something else. But this is actually a burnout. So we did the first project with my team. It was called Balanciada, and we really made this marathon of different discussions related to the burnout. But what is more important is that we did the interviews with around 50 people that went through the burnout, and this helped us to understand a lot more about this process. So today I would love to go through quite a few things related to the burnout. We will cover the topics related to burnout, emotional and professional. I will more concentrate probably on the professional context, and we will cover this topic from two sides. One is from the point of view of the personality, from what is going on with you if you're going through the burnout. And the second context is what we can do as leaders to help our teams to make sure that we are diagnosing that in advance, to help our teams to go through and to make sure that we are not creating the conditions within our teams that actually lead to the burnout. For those who are joining this event for the first time, I will briefly introduce myself. My name is Anastasia Belyakova. I'm the entrepreneur and the founder of the company called At One Touch. We are an HRD consultancy, and we help to build highly efficient teams. This is my passion. I personally think that I excelled a lot in this area, and I continue to learn and continue to practice. And I'm happy to share this knowledge with other people. And I think that my mission is to support the entrepreneurs in making the impact, in making this world to spin around. So if you want support, if you want someone to rely on, please talk to me and to my team. Back to the topic. With regards to the burnout, as I mentioned, we really need to differentiate between two aspects. First is the personal burnout, emotional burnout, and the professional burnout. I would love to go through a few symptoms which describe how you may feel if you are in the burnout period. And I would appreciate if you look at your life and reflect on what is going on with you. Maybe also try to think about your team members. You are maybe noticing the same happening, or some of these items happening to your team. So when you are in a burnout period, one of the things that people notice being in the burnout period is that they're getting absolutely disappointed with their job, with what they do. Even if this is something that they really loved, even if that was really always fascinating for them, these people notice that all of a sudden they stop loving what they have been doing. Very much not only disappointed, but demotivated. You stop thinking about, whether you are making any difference, whether you're bringing any results. You absolutely do not care, or stop caring about the outcomes of what you're doing. So this is red flag. And this is something that is probably number one. If we discuss further how all of that evolves and through which stages the people are going in the burnout period, this is point number one. It's like the starting point for one of the starting points for many things that are happening around. Symptom number two, you constantly very, very much tired. It's like, you're having rest, but you don't feel recharged. You try to disconnect, but it's not happening. You understand that you're actually exhausted, but nothing helps. And a lot of practitioners suggest or advise to get a lot more rest. The thing is that as soon as mentally you are exhausted as well, it doesn't. In many cases, it doesn't really help if you are physically trying to relax yourself. I remember periods I allocate a lot of time for like going for the massage, because I know that this is something that relaxes me a lot. But I also remember that during these massage sessions, I was actually feeling even more exhausted. First of all, I fell asleep. That was during the massage. Secondly, it didn't really help. So if you feel your ways of getting recharged or your way not really helping and you're still feeling exhausted, probably you are experiencing the burnout period, or you are driving towards this situation. Number three, in terms of the symptoms, is the decreased efficiency. You start to delay things. You notice that procrastination becomes your major behavioral. You start to forget things. Even though you might be very much the person who is, very punctual, who is, very much to-do type of person, you do your to-do lists and you're normally following everything, all of the routines and all of the promises you are keeping. When you are in a burnout, you are in many cases start to even forget other people. The reason behind is that our brain is wired in a way that something that you want to get disconnected from, something that is becoming less important, something that you want to push out of your life, this is how our brain acts. You just push it away, and you can forget some of the things that you've been promising or planning to do. Something that is not a priority becomes less important in UK time. You may give the promises that you're not able to, really very much frustrating. Again, I can only refer to experience because it wouldn't be fair to any other example. I remember I found myself in a couple of situations. It's like, all it's an exam tomorrow, but you have absolutely forgotten to get prepared for this exam. So this is absolutely the feelings that you might get if you are in a burnout period. Number four symptom is that you start to feel by other people. You might be getting annoyed. You might become very critical to other people. You literally, getting with the necessity to actually interact with other people. So if you have a choice to go out or to stay at home, to prefer to stay at home because interacting with other people becomes a pain. You're very critical, you're becoming blaming other people, you start to blame whatever you name it. The very, very negative aspects of the burnout is that in many cases you place the responsibility into other people's. Okay, so this is something wrong about them, and this is what is becoming very much annoying to yourself. Okay, so talking about the symptoms, let me summarize once again. So number one, you stop loving what you are doing. Number two, you're getting tired and you find it difficult to get recharged. Number three is the decreased efficiency and procrastination, and number 4 is irritation with other people. So these are the, like, the higher part of the iceberg. So if you notice these things about yourself, highly likely this is it. This is the burnout. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is to cover a little bit the different stages that how the burnout is actually evolving. When we were doing our research, basically the interviews that we did confirm that yes, there are stages. It's not the thing that is happening all of a sudden. There are stages that you can actually diagnose and you should be paying attention to. We also compared that to some theoretical researches, done by someone else, and there are many different concepts describing these different stages of the burnout. The most comprehensive one that we've met was, I think, 12 stages, but I think it's relatively difficult to cover. What we prefer to talk about is that there are 3 distinct stages that actually lead to the burnout. One is the so-called high tension stage. This may be the situation when you've got a new job, or you started a new business, or you have taken new responsibility. It might be very much motivating from the very beginning, and you put a lot of efforts into making sure you deliver the results. You do your utmost, and depending on how competitive you are and how much you're striving to get to the results, you might, let's say, that you are putting into the project might be, of course, very much different. And by the way, I know people who are actually living like that. So burnouts and relaxing periods is their lifestyle. It's a personal choice. It's, I think, very tough to live such a life, but this is my, personal opinion. You have to agree with me. But yes, there are people who are living with this kind of, up and downs. So going back to this tension stage, this is the period when you have taken over some new responsibilities, you are highly motivated, you want to deliver the new job, the new position, new family circumstances or relocation, something else. So you're really, really trying very hard. You're putting all your efforts, making sure that this thing works out, that this thing is actually flying. The challenge starts to happen when the results that you are getting are not actually meeting with your expectations. And this is a tough stage. If you are the person with the imposter syndrome, if you are a perfectionist, where this thing starts to hit the wall. Stage number 2, stage of the tension, is a so-called resistance stage. This is the moment when you start to evaluate, okay, what is happening? This is what I've been planning. This is what I was doing. I was trying really hard. Why am I not getting these results? And usually at this stage, people start to search for the reasons why this is not happening. And in many cases, they start to blame the circumstances or themselves. And again, mentioning again the imposter syndrome, and I will cover that in a little bit more details later on. The more you have of the syndrome, okay, so when the results are not meeting with your expectations, this is when you start to feel that you're losing the grounds. You start to blame yourself and thinking, okay, probably I'm not good enough, or probably I'm in the wrong place, or I don't belong to here, or why did I choose this way? So there is a lot of reflection going on, unfortunately in a not very productive, which actually leads to further disappointment. So at this stage, you start to try to balance what you are investing and what you are getting, and this is where the balance is not really working out. In some cases, people start to blame themselves and think, okay, maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I don't have enough skills, or maybe um, there must be something wrong about myself. Or another option is to blame the circumstances and to blame the other people. So this is stage number two. It follows the high tension stage when we are trying to make sure that we are getting to the results that we wanted to. In stage number three, basically, if you are able to find yourself in stage number one, moving into stage number two, this is already the situations where ideally you need support, the external support, because when you are getting in stage number three, which is called exhaustion, this is where you're being tired of the situation and you're disappointed, complete exhaustion. This is where it starts to be very difficult to get recharged. This is when you find yourself in like seeing no way out or almost no way out. I need to probably mention the situations when the personal career is developing in a certain way and goes down. This is also part of the could be the burnout period. It could be that your business is not evolving in the speed that you expected to, or you had to completely change the initial setup. So it's really the fundamentals of this stage is that you are feeling disappointed with what is going on. With the many people we were talking to, typically they described this situation as I don't belong. I feel that I shouldn't be here. I feel like I want to, send it all to hell. I don't like it anymore. I don't need it anymore. The difficult scenarios are actually happening when the people are not seeing the alternatives. They're feeling like, or it's also called the glass ceiling, where you don't see the opportunities beyond what is around yourself. I'll give you an example of my personal situation that I went through in one of it was the first burnout. And imagine, I had a fantastic job. I made a fantastic career in hospitality business and worked for some of the incredible luxury hotel brands and traveled a lot and stayed in the best five-star hotels and had, dinners with the most amazing chefs, meeting them personally. So, the dream life. Many people who are now asking me about how on earth you managed to give uh, give up on that. I explained that at certain moments of time I felt to this anymore, and I remember very well a situation when I had my one-on-one meeting with the vice president of the company that I've been working for. Her name is Claudia. Claudia, if you ever watch this video, I want to tell you I love you because you are the person who, in many aspects, influenced my life. So the situation when actually I realized what is happening is invited me for a one-on-one meeting, luxury suite that she was staying at, and she invited me to go out the balcony. It was in Miami, by the way, watching the lovely ocean, and the breeze was there. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, it's a dream life. And she was looking at all of that and inviting me to also enjoy that. And she said, Anastasia, do you realize that we are so much privileged? Traveling worldwide, staying in the five-star deluxe hotels, enjoying all of that the people actually they need to a lot of money to live this lifestyle. And I remember very, very well my thoughts at this moment that I couldn't dare to tell her, but it was the insight that actually predetermined my further actions. At this moment of time when she's talked about being privileged, I thought, Claudia, the thing that I want mostly at this moment of time, and I want it desperately, I want to be back to my home city, to my family, and to spend this evening with my family and kids. So that was the aha moment when you realize that you don't want that for any money. It's just not what you want. I would suggest that you don't go that far and I would be feeling that my mission is accomplished if you are not reaching that level. Although for many people, it might be worthwhile to go through these changes in their life to understand something deeper, to get some insights. But it's very, very tough to implement changes. Not that it's not worth it, but it's really, really difficult. The consequences of burnout is actually far more than just being tired or feeling depressed or stuff like that. There are many things that actually may happen and that you are not able to manage at this moment of time simply because your brain is working in a different way at the burnout period. Because you get annoyed and because you become cynical, I already mentioned that this may ruin your relationships with other people. um, in my scenario, that my burnout hit very strongly at my family because we almost got divorced, and it was a very, very difficult period in our time. You blame other people, you may ruin relationships because you're not able sometimes to keep your promises. This burnout period may be detrimental for your career simply because you're not performing at your best. You're just not able to at this situation, and it can lead to the wrong decisions in your business. Okay, if you're running your own business, in many cases, people in a burnout, they tend to even sabotage what they are doing. It's almost consciously not moving forward, and it's very, very tough. I want to support the people who are going through burnout period and just wish you guys, just get support from outside. It's almost impossible to just live through that because this may take forever. Okay, so search for support. In terms of how to get out of the burnout, that's an interesting topic because the majority of advices that people are getting, they're very, very obvious. What are people naturally doing? I even came across a research done by Hayes Company, and then made a statistical research on what people are typically doing to overcome the burnout. So about 47% of people try to go for the vacations, they try to find other ways to recharge. Sabbatical actually is a way out as well because it gives you the opportunity to really allocate time to, go through all of that period. This is, by the way, a separate topic that maybe would be worthwhile to discuss in one of the live events, is how to manage the sabbaticals if you are team sabbatical, for example. The My personal point of view is that when the sabbatical is a kind of thing, especially when you're kind of getting this 1 year of break from your main job, it's like you're still from one side it's fantastic, and I admire the companies who offer this opportunity to their employees. However, I think I'm quite after my 40s, let's put it that way, I've gone through many circumstances in my life. Believe me, there is always a way out. So not having a plan B sometimes is a good thing because then you have more options. Okay. So getting a rest is one option, as is that some people choose to change job. Fully support that. That could be a better option than just trying to manage, in this situation just like that. And this is where I want to step into probably when you have a person sending you the notice, the resignation notice, and if this person is saying job anymore for any money in this world, well, number one, hug the person and say, okay, I feel for you. Probably as a leader, you might have noticed, these things a little bit earlier, and you could maybe have given the hand and help your team member earlier. However, if this happens, just let the person go, because indeed there is no way it may work out differently. And I will come back to that a little bit later, because there is one more thing related to resignations. Yeah, and some people prefer the downshifting option, which is also a nice opportunity. I think we all make choices in our life. However, what I think is important, and what me personally, when I could see that it works, is that having support from the third party, it's actually a good option. You have now mentors, coaches, different resilience programs, whatsoever. A lot of things, I mean, and everybody is partying the way they want to party. Get help. Don't leave yourself with this thing one to one, because you just would not be able to manage that. Talking about the burnout, the next topic that I want to cover is to business owner or the leader, and talk about the things that actually, what are the preconditions that might be influencing that the people are getting into the burnout. What are the context or the organizational culture that actually may provoke the burnout? Number one, and this is probably one of the strongest things that make an impact, is lack of appreciation and acknowledgement. I keep on repeating that to my clients whom I'm mentoring and coaching. Say thank you. Find something to be grateful for. Appreciate what the people are doing. Just support them in the journey that they're going through. And sometimes it's difficult because some of the leaders say, why I should be appreciating them. I mean, they are being paid for doing their job in the normal way. It's not about doing something extraordinary. If they do something extraordinary, of course I will acknowledge that. But doing your job in a normal way, this is what is expected. No. Many people require this support. You need to show them that what they're going through is amazing, actually. You need to support them in acknowledging that even doing the job in a normal way, this is already great, fantastic, and thank you for doing that, because people are doing their jobs every day. Sorry. You might not be realizing what they're going through. If you think about some of the professions where people are dealing with other people, I mean, you're smiling and polite, and although there can be a complete hell going on in your life, and you need to still be looking nice, excellent customer service. It may be that the person have taken over the responsibilities, or he's lacking some of the skills. I have an example right now in my team. I have a fantastic assistant who now are doing the things that she's not skilled enough, and she's learning by doing. And it's difficult for her because she's not a very technical person, but she's going through that. So yes, acknowledging and appreciating what the people are doing, this is number one, what we as leaders can do. Number two, the condition that is provoking the burnout is when the people are being off job, when there is too much on their plate, when they are not skilled enough to delegate things, when there are no opportunities for delegating, simply no resources. Leaders are not cannot make a fair judgment on the number of efforts or the time that actually is needed to do the job. So when the person is permanently overwhelmed by the job, so for many people, and leading to the burnout. Number three is the gap in professional and personal skills in what is physically possible. This is related to the previous topic, but the previous thing that we were talking about, it's about being overwhelmed. The thing that I want to mention with regards to this personal tension and permanent stretching out that the person is having, he has to do that in order to cope with his job. This is a these two items. This is a special call for think that the teams are not, working enough, that they have enough time for everything. Just be very, very careful with that. Next precondition that is provoking the burnout is the routine and pointless work, something that you do continuously, and some of the jobs imply that you just keep on. It's tough. Okay, the pointless work. These are the work or the projects that you are actually nobody cares about. I'm not sure if you ever had this in your life, but imagine you've spent, I don't know, 1 week for preparing a fantastic report that the boss was asking for. You give this report, and the boss is taking it and says, okay, I'll have a look at that later. And at this moment of time, you realize that this later is actually never. So make sure that the job is having some meaning behind. Make sure that the person, again, is being appreciated for the efforts that he has done. Give him feedback on whether he did it well or bad, but give feedback, okay? You don't feel that actually the things that you are doing, that they actually have some meaning, and actually somebody is needing that. Next precondition for the burnout is the lack of authority. And when I talk about the authority, this is related to the situations where you've been hired to change something in the company, or the changes are necessary and you are fighting that these things actually need to be. Have enough power, you don't have enough of authority, and you're facing the wall where the whole organization says, no, sorry, this is the things, the way the things are being done here, this is the way we are set up, no changes, nothing, and you can do nothing with that. So it's really, really difficult when you're facing with that, and especially when you are in a leadership position where, any changes in a career is actually a big step. So you are in a very rigid organization where you see the things that need to be changed. You want to initiate those changes. Actually, nothing is happening, and you cannot do that. Next precondition of that provoke the burnout is when you feel that what you get, and this is basically about the remuneration. It is okay. It is actually about the situations where the person may be coming with you either with resignation note or even before that, and he says, listen, my dear boss, I want to get paid more. I've been in this job for, I don't know, it doesn't matter, 1 year, 10 years, or whatsoever. I want to get paid more. And this is like a red flag for you as a leader, because what happens is that just put yourself in the shoes of your team member. When you are lacking the sense of purpose, when you are doing something that actually becoming very annoying for you, you feel devaluated, you don't feel that you're reaching the results, all of that things that we have discussed. So in this situation, your brain is searching for a reason why I should be staying here. And one of the simplest things is to, okay, if this is a situation, at least I should be getting more money, because this is like, money is something that, a measurement instrument. You can then see, okay, I'm not happy with what I'm doing, but at least I'm earning money for my family. So if you have this conversation with your team member, a red flag, big red flag, 10 red flags, make sure that you talk through, because it's never happening just like that. It's not about that, somewhere is being paid more. It's really highly likely that the person is not understanding why he is here, and he is searching for the explanation. Last thing, which is the precondition for the burnout, and it is the last one on my list. It is the last one on my list for the reason that this is the least one we can influence, but it is as a precondition of why this is happening. I was talking earlier about the imposter syndrome, about the perfectionism. This is all related to the personal traits of the person. We can do about that. It's just, that's the way the person is wired, this way he is. Perfectionists, the imposter syndrome people, and the people with high anxiety, they are under risk. You may not know about that, but the number of people with diagnosed anxiety is increasing over the last 10 years. Maybe it's because of the diagnostics became more sophisticated, or it's because there was more awareness about that in our lives. But these people, and I'm talking about the people with high anxiety, these are the people who see everything in a very much exaggerated light, exaggerated context. It's like, imagine you're driving during the night, your lights switched on, so you can only see what is enlightened by your car, by the lights. And to see anything behind, it's in the darkness. You really need to make an effort, and even if you try to make anything because it's dark, your eyes cannot see that. Okay, so this is the way, the perspective the people with high anxiety have. It's really difficult for them to switch on for something else. So imagine if they are out circle or at one of these stages, it's really difficult for them. They're just, speed into the burnout, unfortunately. But again, just the personality traits, we can do very little about that. It's just the things that we need to be aware of and to support our team members. And yeah, perfectionism, we mentioned the imposter syndrome, the anxiety. And the last thing related to the personal traits which actually provoke the burnout is the dependable people. And when I'm talking about dependability, it's not about the drugs, it's not about gaming. Workaholics are also dependable people because they're getting excited about the tough job, about the results. This is how they get their adrenaline in their blood. Okay, this is why they're enjoying it. So this is also dependability, and these dependable people, the workaholics, they are also very much in the for the burnout. My dear listeners, my dear guests today, it has been a fantastic time with you today. I'm very happy that I have this opportunity to share experience and my knowledge with regards to the burnout. I really hope that today's session was the eye opener for you, either for your personal situation, for your team member. I wish you all the very best. I really want you to enjoy all of its aspects. And life is not only consisting of doing your job or doing business or running the team or things like that. It's just a fraction. There are so many things above and beyond our business life. And I wish you to enjoy it and want you to be happy and to enjoy your business as much as you enjoy life. So just be happy. And if you have any questions about burnout, I will be happy to support you. I think that we will be publishing a few articles soon related to the burnout. So please stay tuned and sign up for my LinkedIn page if you're not following me yet. Any topics related to the burnout. I hope that you will not be going through this period, and I hope that you will be able to diagnose that early enough to make sure that you're not stepping into the deep, deep ocean of the burnout. Have a great day, have a fantastic weekend, and stay tuned. Next stream will be related about the customer service. We will talk about the different aspects and talking about what's the difference between the excellent customer service and the wow service. What are the preconditions? What we as leaders can do to make sure that it's happening? So join us. It will be on the 10th of January. Yes, my team is kindly helping me to realize that. So it's season's greetings and Happy New Year.